I'm
Tonight,
Jim.
hi Jim. Tonight we have Jim Vowels with us. Jim, tell us what you're running for.
Hello, my name is Jim Vowels, and I am running for the Iowa Senate District 29, and that is the counties of Butler, Floyd, Chickasaw, and Bremer.
Woo woo. Jim's our first Senate candidate. Woo woo. We're excited. All right, Jim, what inspired you to run?
I've always been interested in politics, um, but I this is my 34th year teaching, 28 in Iowa, 28 at Waverly Shell Rock, and the state that I was teaching in 28 years ago is very, very different now educationally. And so it's kind of been a slow burn of, I don't like this. I don't like this. And it's just gotten more and more and more. And so as I've gotten towards the end of my career, I'm not quite ready to retire yet, but as I've gotten towards the end, I can see a point where I can, in my life, retire and move into another form of service. And I'll tell you the tipping point for me is that my youngest daughter, Celia, is gay, and she goes to school in Milwaukee and went to a protest and called me and said, Dad, you always tell me it's going to be okay. And, got a little worried, a little frightened there. I was with some friends. Um, are we going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? And I just teared up and I choked up and I said, honey, I can't tell you that this time. And I said, but here's what I've been thinking about because I want to do something. I'm tired of saying somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to do something. And so it was at that moment that I fully decided. I'd already talked to my wife and, we thought we were leaning that way. But that night when she called me and asked me if she was going to be okay and I couldn't tell her that, um, that did it for me. And that's when I decided I'm going to go for this full force.
That is the best inspirational story we've had yet. I'm trying not to cry right now. Okay, we're just gonna keep going so I don't start bawling like a big baby. Is there a primary opponent in your race? Is there
Not
another?
that I know of.
Okay.
Now I'm getting my signatures, and
Yeah.
Patty and I have set a date. We're going to go down March 2nd and officially file the papers and everything. So, I'm not official until then, but I haven't heard yet. But I hope so. I would love to have a primary opponent.
I think it's a good thing. We're pretty pro primary with wenches. Everybody deserves to have choices, and that also includes having choices in your party. So
Absolutely.
we're pretty pro primary, pro party primary. Um, what do you think makes you different from other Democratic candidates? I'd say your primary opponent, but you don't have one yet that we know of.
Um, what makes me different from other Democrats? That's the
Yeah,
question.
other Democratic candidates.
Well, there was a poll released earlier this week that said 45% of the voting population identify themselves as independent now. So that's more than Democrats, that's more than Republicans.
Mhm.
And I kind of love it. The people that wish we could have a third party, which I don't think is ever going to happen, but if we get enough people that are independent enough to go, you know what? I like this about this party. I like this about this party. I'm going to vote for the person.
Mhm.
And to me, that's what independent means. Now, uh, I'm a proud Democrat. I've been a Democrat my whole life, my whole adult life. Um, but I also want to say that once I'm elected, that if there's a good idea across the aisle, I'm not going to vote against it just because I didn't think of it or my party didn't think of it. And so I'm, I've never been. I could list superintendents that would say, Jim will play along to a point. And so, again, a good idea is a good idea. And that's why there are 45% declaring independence, especially 35 and under.
Hmm.
And they're disillusioned. My children are disillusioned. Um, and so we have to do something about it. So, what I'm doing about it, yes, I'm running as a Democrat, but I, I'm just going to, if a good idea is a good idea, hell, I don't care who says it. I don't care who thinks of it. So, I don't know if that answers your question, but hopefully it
Yeah.
does.
No, I think
Okay.
that's a great answer. I also like, I completely agree with your kind of your thoughts on independence and why they're independents. I was an independent until this year.
Mm-hmm.
Until this year, I have been an independent voter my entire life because I wanted to vote for the person, not for the party. And then the more I got into the political realm of things, the more I realized if I wanted to make a choice of whether a crappy Democrat or a good Democrat ran, then I needed to be registered with a party. And obviously my views and my morals lean more progressive. And so I would obviously register as a Democrat and not as a Republican at this time, at this point
Sure.
in history. Um, so yeah, I think that that's a lot of it. Most normal people, and I say this after talking to thousands of people over the course of the last year, most people do not identify fully with a party.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a party loyalty on the ground like there used to be. And I think that's a good thing. I
I
don't
do
think
too.
there should be party loyalty. I think we need to vote for whoever's going to do a good damn job. So yeah, let's do that, right?
Absolutely, 100%. I think it's the same reason so many people don't go to church anymore. The
Hmm.
belief in God hasn't gone down. There's still a strong belief in God. God
Yep.
hasn't let us down. People have let us down.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
so there are people that just can't go to church anymore, walk inside a church because they've been hurt by people.
Right.
So there's
Yep.
more and more people, bigger chunks of people that aren't going to church.
Right.
But I absolutely refuse to believe that there are less people that believe in God.
Sure.
So I think this same way. Like I say, I am a proud Democrat. I consider myself to be progressive.
Yeah.
But a good idea is a good idea. I don't care who thinks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know what being progressive or being a Democrat or being a Republican has to do with a state budget, honestly. Like
Right.
what does that have to do with anything, you know? Do you have like a favorite political podcast or
Content.
TikToker or someone on Facebook kind of thing that you follow?
Oh, geez.
We're just trying to build our bank here.
uh, Patty, my wife, really likes, what's her name? She comes out with something every day. Um, anyway, I can't. I read, I can't watch the news anymore. I just can't. So
Yeah,
I read my news off AP. I get
good.
it straight from there. I will listen some to NPR, but there's even times that I'm like, oh, I just can't listen to his voice, and so I turn that off. But I haven't. I guess I haven't stepped into this century yet and really gotten into podcasts yet.
That's all
Um,
right.
so sorry
I,
about that.
that
Yep.
is okay.
You're
What
not
do
the only one to answer in the
no,
exact question.
no,
Well,
not at
that
all.
makes me sound old. Like,
No,
oh, no,
the
I don't listen to podcasts, but
no, the overwhelming answer has been I don't really watch any of that stuff. I pretty much watch NPR or
yeah.
Yeah.
listen to NPR.
I mean,
There was
during
one
the summer,
person,
I've listened to Pod Save America,
yeah.
and some stuff like that. So
Now
I'm
I'm really
familiar. I just
interested
don't
in who
have a
your wife
regular.
watches though.
Yeah.
Now I need to know. So you're gonna have to report back.
You need
I
to
will.
get Patty on progressive powerhouses.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's a whole other episode.
Is Progressive Powerhouses a podcast?
It's ours. We haven't launched it yet.
Sorry for
But
the.
Okay. Then
but
I
we
look
will
forward
be, and
to
it's exciting.
it.
But this is about you, Jim.
Okay.
Okay. Big question. We hear it a lot from everywhere. So we ask it.
Sure.
Do you plan to take corporate PAC money?
No.
Fabulous. And we also, like, I always like to throw the disclaimer in that we're talking about corporate PAC money. So from Walmart, Exxon, FedEx, those places. We want you to take advocacy PAC money. Please take the union endorsements, do those things because we know campaigning is insanely expensive. And those are okay, but we want to know, and I think most people want to know that you're going to represent the people of your district, not Walmart
Right.
or whatever.
100%. I have no plans at all to take any big money.
Great. Perfect. Layla, did you have something?
I do not, but I have the next question.
Yeah, you do.
Aha. So if you look at the legislature as if it's picking a college major and minor, what would you major in the legislature and what would you minor in?
Oh my. Um, and this is just me personally, or what I'm looking at in our legislature right now.
Just what you would like to focus on in the legislature. It doesn't have to be based on like the issues that are happening right now. It doesn't have to be based on anything. Just like what you're interested in fixing.
Okay. Well, I grew up on a farm. My grandfathers were farmers. My uncles are farmers, and I think we're at a real crossroads with farming. Right now, 20% of all agricultural land, tillable land in Iowa, is owned by people that don't live here, and that is growing all the time. Um, the family farmers, their kids don't want to farm, and so they're either selling to the big corporate farmers that keep getting thousands of acres and keeps getting bigger, or they rent to them. And I don't blame them. When you sell your farm, you want to get top dollar for it. If you don't want to farm it anymore, but you don't want to sell your land, and somebody wants to rent it, you're going to rent it. And so I get that. I get that there's a lot of outside interest. We absolutely cannot look away anymore about our water quality, about the nitrates. I think Des Moines yesterday in January had to turn on their filters, their big filters to because the nitrates are already so high. But we have to do this in a way. We can't just point our fingers and say, okay, this is what's going to happen. You're going to do it and you're going to pay the price and you're going to, because that's not going to happen. But on the other end, where Governor Reynolds keeps saying that everybody's doing what they're supposed to voluntarily and they're doing a good job, that's not true either. So we've got to do something. Now, whether that means we can use some of our surplus and maybe get a program where when farmers in the runoff spaces, if they can build, put a grassy area for it to run through, or they can build the berms, like if you're coming down a hill, so that it catches it. Yeah, they're going to lose some tillable land, but if we can make a program to help offset that, if we can hire some engineers to help find out where these places can best be used, we're not beyond fixing something.
No,
we're not. I mean,
We don't have another option.
Right. Well, yeah, we can just keep taking it.
yeah.
But
and then we all die,
Yeah. Well, there will be people that will want us to just take it. Just keep going. No, it's not. No, this study says it's fine. Well, I grew up a tobacco farmer. We had a tobacco patch. And every farmer, everybody that I knew back home had a tobacco patch. And I remember the commercials. Oh, no, it's not bad for you. No, we're not trying to hook you to it. No, absolutely no. There's no way. There's no way. The whistle finally blew. And it's like, yeah, this is bad stuff. And yes, we add a whole bunch more stuff to it. And yes, we've made it worse. And yes, we were trying to hook you. I don't think there's any farmer that's trying to hook us. They're not that. I'm not trying to compare Iowa farmers to the tobacco industry. But something happened there that changed. all kinds of, we started raising taxes. We started saying, hey, look, this is what this stuff really does to change. We're at a tipping point and we have to change. We can't just keep talking about it.
Right.
And so we're going to have to get together. We're going to have to think together and work together. And I'll tell you, this might be another question. I might be jumping, but the way we keep spinning our wheels with the CO2 pipeline, I think this is bigger than that. I'm not trying to diminish that, but if we can't get together and get this CO2 pipeline figured out, how are we ever going to do this? But we got to have some courageous people to make a courageous stand and start getting some ideas.
Yep.
And we just have to do it much sooner than later.
Yeah.
Much sooner than later.
Now, I will tell you, I have been reading legislature for 2 days because it's legis session. So we read through all the bills constantly to try and post about anything that sounds, anything crazy that needs attention. I have not read a single bill proposed for water quality.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because it's too big of a problem and they're too scared of it.
Yeah.
And I think no matter what the outcry is going to be, they're not going to do anything anyway.
Right.
Because there's too much money involved. But we have to. And the only way it's going to get done, the only way is if enough Iowans stand up and say, not anymore. This is unacceptable. This will not work. Do something. So if I get in there, if I get the opportunity, I will do everything I can to do something. I don't know what that is yet. I had a couple of ideas there, but I do have some very good friends that are farmers here that we have started talking about what we can do and how we can make this happen. There's a really nice couple over in New Hartford that they had a small farm and they converted it all to grassland and for the water. I've talked to them, but I want to go over to their place and visit. Again, we made it through the Great Depression. We had the idea. Henry Wallace had the idea, Secretary of Agriculture, and went on to be Vice President of the Set Aside. Quit growing so much because it's driving all the prices down. That worked for a long time. We're still using that. We need an idea.
Yeah.
Because right now we're just sitting and doing nothing.
I think it's going to take a lot of people getting together.
It is.
And it's going to take farmers. What'd you say, Layla?
It's going to have to be really creative.
Yeah. And it's going to take more than just a bunch of people that get elected. It's going to take the people that get elected. It's going to take farmers. It's going to take scientists and people that maybe believe in climate change and things like that.
What a radical mindset.
Go ahead. Well, the first thing that's got to happen is enough people have to get mad and call and consistently call, not just one call, but call and say, look, I do not want to get cancer. I am tired of this happening. If you've seen some of the things that Sean Elbrook has done, he has counted the numbers, has laid it over the state, and it shows exactly where the higher rates are, and they're along the waterways.
Yep. 100%.
So, yeah, you can't, well, I hate to say you can't dispute facts because obviously in our climate, well, that's not real.
Some people can, apparently.
Yeah, but this is real and something has to be done, and it's going to take courageous, smart people that are willing to stand up. But it's got to start with enough people saying, this is not right. You have to change this.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So that's your major then, is water quality.
Water quality and education, because I absolutely cannot stand what's going on with school. It's driving me crazy. My 3 children are all Midwest kids that graduated out of Midwest schools. I moved here because of Midwest schools, because I wanted my kids to have a better education than I did. And right now it's substandard, and it's certainly not what Iowa should be accepting.
No.
So
Layla, you got the
those are
next
my
one?
two big ones, and if somehow we can help small towns because they're hurting too. But my number one and two are going to be agriculture and education.
Yeah, those are good ones. And it sounds that you're passionate about both of them, so you're double majoring.
There you go. Thanks.
True.
What are some ways that you're active in your community? Where can people find you out and about?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been here a long time, and one of the things that I'm really proud of. Um, well, I'm the high school band director at Waverly Shell Rock. Been here a long time. We are very active in the community. Um, I pick a special group that every year we play a program for the veterans, and we take that same program and go to Bartles and we go to the Shell Rock Care Center. Um, we have outreach at Christmas, and when we do Memorial Day, that's a big deal. We spend a lot of time preparing for that and getting ready. And it's not just Waverly; we spend time out in Shell Rock as well. Um, and I was on the city council a long time ago. I've been on different committees throughout town, and with my own children, I was involved with them in so many things. So I don't know, Christmas on Main. There's been a million, not a million things, but a lot of things I've been involved with. I feel like over the time I've been at Waverly Shell Rock, we've built a really, really good reputation with the band as a community. We're part of Friday night. If we weren't there Friday night, we'd be missed. And um, and so I that's not a great answer, I don't think, but um, been out a long time, been on several committees, and I love being part of my town. There's other people that like to hold state offices and within the community, within the band community. I've never been much for wanting to be officers there. I like doing things at home, and this is going to be my first like huge outreach beyond Waverly, and I really feel like I'm ready to move on to that next thing.
I actually really like that answer. I think that local boards and local government and all of those things are important, but I also think doing things within your community just because they make your community happy
Hmm.
and
Yep.
give them some joy, especially in a time like this where there's not a lot to be joyous about. I think that's even more important. So I definitely think you are underestimating what you're doing because I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you.
And if people are only involved in their communities from just a political standpoint,
Mhm.
not everyone is involved in that same community. So
Right?
it's good to have like kind of a spread out approach.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have students of students. I call them grand bands. People that I've taught before, and it's really cool seeing the people that you taught grow up and have their own kids and have them come through. And so I don't know. It's a nice chain, I think.
I love
yeah,
that.
I think that's a lot of people's favorite parts about kind of smaller communities.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely.
This is the most controversial question, so if you need like a minute to think, that's okay. We can edit it out. Um, Cats or dogs and why?
Dogs. We have two Chihuahuas. Stella is just this little tiny 5 pound thing. Uh, and we just got Chloe not too long ago. She was on the Waverly Rescue site and needed a home. Her family couldn't keep her anymore. So, yes, we have two dogs. And it's funny that you say that because just like 5 or 6 minutes before we came on, had two tomcats right outside the door making those awful sounds. And I took a shoe out and get the hell out of my yard. So I'm a dog guy all the way.
Okay. He said, I went out with a shoe. Listen,
Right.
I love cats, but I will say we like some of the strays that will come up and those crazy noises they make, like
Oh,
the god awful like because it's not even like a meow. Meows are cute, but that is like a scream from a demon. I don't
it's
know.
bad. It's awful. Yeah. And I heard it up here on the second floor.
Oh my
It's the
gosh.
winter and the windows are all closed. So yeah, I wasn't going to sit here and talk to you and listen to that. So I had to go take care of that.
Fair enough.
That's so funny. Okay. What are your top priorities that don't include healthcare, water quality, or education?
Wonderful question. Um, I have I want to be different. I don't want to be the same. And anytime I've talked to somebody from somewhere else, well, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is what you're supposed to do. I'm like, that's what everybody does. And so I've put out some videos, some where I'm just singing. And I don't care whether I've got a great voice or not. I played an Elvis song. I played another because I love Elvis. I love old country. I've somewhat have my own old country band that we play a little bit. And so I would really like for us to take off this lid of of hatred and of loyalty.
Mm.
We obey in advance, and I hate that. It's like no matter what you say, I'm going to do it, and no matter what you say, I know that if I don't do it, I'm going to get kicked off this committee, or I could not get reelected for heaven's sake, or whatever. I want that all to go away, and I am going to do everything I can to just blow that out of the water. I love history. I love history. And John F. Kennedy wrote a book called Profiles in Courage, where it was through history of people that, and they still give the award yearly, of people that stood up no matter what happened in the face of opposition or criticism, not being voted, whatever. They're like, no, this is wrong. And this is what I want to do. Where's the courage?
Yeah.
Um, and so just all this retribution and all this, I want it all to go. And so if I could major in one thing that is not those other things that I talked about, I want to have lunch with the people on the other side of the aisle. I hope that this is going to sound silly, but this is really what I hope. I'm a musician, okay? When when I win and I move, I'm taking my guitar with me, and I'm taking my saxophone with me. I'm going to take my clarinet, and I'm going to reach out. Who of you plays an instrument? Can we get together and play some duets? Can we play some trios? Can we sing some stuff? I don't care who they are. I don't even care if they can sing very well. It's just stuff like that that I want to see changed because even if I disagree with you, you're a person.
Yeah.
And everybody deserves some respect. And when you're done working in the day and you want to go out at night or go out at lunch and have lunch or have a drink or just go, it's like the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where there was the sheepdog and the coyote, where they were enemies all day, and then it was over. They put their arm around each other and they walked away until they got and punched in the next morning.
Yep.
I don't want to be enemies either during the day, but I really want that fog to lift. I guess obeying in advance.
Yeah.
I would really like to be part of a system that that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I think a lot of voters right now, and I think this is often why Democrats lose too, is just kind of the lack of authenticity in a candidate and the lack of courage, like you said. So I think those are good priorities too.
I love that you said that. after I get elected, the first day after I get elected, I'm not going to worry about getting reelected.
Right.
Right.
I'm going to worry about doing a good job
Just do the
and
job.
That's
do the
what we
job.
need. We need
Absolutely.
people that are not afraid of not getting reelected. We need people who go in and say, I've got 2 years, I've got 4 years. I am going to do everything I can to improve the state of my home for the next 2 to 4 years, whichever it may be. And if I do a good enough job, I'll get reelected.
Right.
And if not, then I didn't do my job or they just didn't care enough to like what I did. I
You
think
will look at me, not a lukewarm version of me.
Right.
Kind of.
right. Yep.
Through the years of teaching everything, anybody that's known me for this long, there can be several adjectives, and that's fine, but one of them won't be fake.
Right.
I would hope that any student I've ever had, any person that I know, any friend that I've had for a year or I've had for 30 years, I really don't think that any of them would say, "Oh, Jim's fake." No, he just says, he says what you want to hear. No, that is not me, and that won't be me as a legislator either.
Yeah.
We've met you a couple times up until this point, and I will say we've never gotten that impression that you were
Good.
just faking it. That is not something I would have ever used to describe you.
Well, we need less fake. We we
Agreed.
need we need more. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and honest answers.
Right.
Honest answers would be lovely.
Yep.
All right, Layla, are you still going?
Um, yes, I still have a couple left.
All right.
Um, do you support the private school voucher program?
No, 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 absolutely not. Uh, they follow no rules.
None.
There is no oversight, nothing. It's just a free ticket. And not only that, so we've done that. And so what have a lot of these schools done? They've raised their tuition.
Mhm.
So you get so much money, you raise the tuition over that, then the kids that could have benefited for this, that we were led to believe would benefit from this, they still can't afford to go to school there.
Yep.
It's crap. And so from the very beginning, uh, if you were going to push this through, a to me responsible way to push it through is okay. If you make over this much money, you're going to pay for it. If you make under this much money, we're going to work with you.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. So you can look out in Arizona, you can look at Kansas, you can look at these other folks that have put this in. They're going away from it, and our Arizona's broke. They are broke.
So are we.
Yeah, we're
So are we
getting
now?
we're getting there,
We are.
and so this you keep hearing about, oh well, we've got the money to take care of this. That money's not going to be there forever. It is not going to be forever. Then what are we going to do?
Mhm.
So no, I do think that there are some people that it really could benefit,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
we need to take a cap down,
Yeah.
and it needs to be something that's fair and equitable. But we're just really hurting our schools, really, really badly. And there's not enough teachers coming in. It's not even close. And so
Which is so
bigger
funny because I
schools,
believe Kim Reynolds posted that all vacant teaching positions in Iowa had been filled.
that's a lie.
Right. I
It's
mean,
not.
shocking, crazy notion that Kim Reynolds would do something other than tell the truth.
Right.
What?
So yes, I'm very much against it. And one of the things I would want to do when I first get in is to fix this thing
Yeah.
and put it put it where to the people that it can actually help. Right now, we're just helping somebody else buy a new Mercedes, is what I think.
Yes.
People that were already paying the tuition and not hurting. all of a sudden they have a lot more disposable income.
Yeah. I would
So,
also love to add to this. So I have had major issue with the school voucher program, just like everybody else. Um, and I think something that doesn't get talked about enough, because we talk about how, private schools don't have to take special education kids. They don't have to take anyone, right?
right,
Because they're private.
right,
But something that doesn't get talked about very much is what happens in the cases where, students go to a private school and then the public school is left, which is already grossly underfunded, right? Because
mhm,
everybody knows our public schools are grossly underfunded even before this. But then what happens, because special education programs cost more,
yeah,
right? Special education, like all of the things that you need to have, all of the things for special education cost more. So what happens when, the school's already lost money and now they're losing more money because of the voucher program? Special education students specifically that are left behind have even less of a chance in school because there's no money to support them. And
yes.
I would ride until the end of the time arguing that with anyone ever. It makes me really mad. I get really worked up about it.
Well, if it's so great and if this program is so wonderful, then why pass a law that says the state auditor can't look into it?
Exactly.
That there aren't certain things that are set up.
Mhm.
There's no curriculum. They can do whatever they want, and nothing can happen.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And so, like I say, if it's so great, why pass a law that says you can't look into it? If the Republican trifecta is doing such wonderful things, then why gut the state auditor's job? The very person that's supposed to be watching and taking care and is the watchdog of the state,
Mhm.
why gut that? If you
Right.
have nothing to hide, then
Then why
don't,
are you hiding?
then why are you hiding?
Right.
And so I just don't, I really don't, I don't get that. If it's so wonderful, then why can't we see what's going on? If
Right.
it's so wonderful, then let us know, hey, what's the curriculum? What are
Show
you
us
doing?
show us the stats where it's
Yes,
helping,
yes,
where it is helping middle income people, middle income families.
right,
Show us the numbers.
right.
Anyways, we could definitely talk about this for a really long time.
Yes.
Layla, what's your next one?
This is my last one. If you could pass legislation on a petty grievance, what would it be and why? If you need an example, let me know.
On the petty grievance. Well, I'll tell you something that just happened this week is that last year they passed a law that gave state employees maternity leave, 4 weeks of paid maternity leave. You know who they left out? Teachers. Teachers can't get maternity leave. Well, because they actually work for their municipality. They work for local. They don't work for the state. That's
Hmm.
crap. It's another thing to say, oh, well, teachers get summers off. I have a 9 month contract. I don't have a 12-month contract. I have a 9 month contract. Who is sitting at home right now going, lazy farmers, they're not doing anything in January.
That's a
What's
valid
wrong with
point.
them?
Yeah.
All the people that work at golf courses,
Mhm.
they're not doing anything right now. I don't hear anybody going, they're lazy because they're not working.
Right.
If you can't, if it's frozen and you can't work construction, are you lazy? No. You can only work at certain times. So everything that they can do to stick it to teachers.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing I would do, and I would give back bargaining rights.
Also, I would add that almost every single thing that you just mentioned, with the exception of farmers, I think, um, would also qualify for temporary layoff unemployment.
Yeah.
A handout? No.
What?
Now, that's not disparaging the farmers. Again, my whole family's
No,
farmers.
not at all.
They work hard, but the people
But
that my whole life, oh, it must be nice to have June, July, and August off. Okay, well, how you doing in December, January, and February? What are you doing?
Right. That's
It's
true.
not fair. And again, my contract is 9 month. It's not like I have a 12-month contract and I get 3 free months.
Right.
Not true. I have a 9 month contract. Uh, my father-in-law was a retired fireman, 24 on, 48 off.
Mhm.
I don't hear anybody. They get 2 full days off after one day.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
is that petty enough for you?
Yes, and I love it. Be pettier. That's amazing. That was a really good one.
it was.
It was. Okay, shifting gears a little bit. What
Okay.
would you consider valid experience for someone running in Iowa House or Iowa Senate?
Valid experience. You know, life experience is good. You know, if just living gives you some experience of life experience. But I think Layla is as qualified as anybody, and
Me too.
we we forget. Well, I never got a participation trophy, and I've hated those. I umpired for a while. I wasn't very good at it, but I umpired for 3 years to help put my son through college. My son and my daughter. Um, I hated participation trophies, and you watch the kids; they don't care. Um, it if you care, that's good enough for me. If you want if you see something and you want it to be better, yes, you have qualifications. Layla wants better for the people she lives around and lives with and her neighbors. That's good enough for me.
I love that answer. Not specifically because you called out for Layla, because obviously I'm team Layla. Um, but we have sat down and we've done quite a few of these at this point. And there has been a lot of, well, you need to be a certain age that, that you've had enough life to live, and you need, a law degree. Like, listen, first and foremost, the job don't pay squat. Okay. So and nobody is doing this job to get rich. Secondly, it is bold of anyone to assume that just because someone is young, that they don't have any life experience. And that
Mhm.
has always driven me absolutely nuts. Not just for her, but for me. And I mean, me in different ways. I did not run for office because I'm not crazy. But I was in management at a very young age. And so I constantly got that, well, you're too young. Well, at what point are we going to realize that 22-year-olds know what is happening in the world, right? Like
Mhm.
29-year-olds know what's happening in the world. And Layla's got more life experience in her right pinky than a lot of grown people. Um, and I would fight that battle for her, but I don't have to because she probably wouldn't want me to. So
Well,
I could not agree more with that you need to care, right?
yeah.
Like, you wanting better is good enough. And I think that's something that's kind of gotten lost in the plot, is that the Iowa House and Iowa Senate is not supposed to be full-time lawyers and, um someone who's been on all of the committees. Like, those people are great too, but the Iowa House and Iowa Senate are supposed to represent their communities, and not every community is full of farmers or lawyers. It takes all kinds of people to get in there to make a change and to bring different viewpoints. So it's not just one group of people being represented, which is
Right.
kind of what we're going through now.
Well, and if we're going to make laws
Mm-hmm.
for younger folks, this is what's going to happen. It sure would be nice to hear from them, and
Right.
not just come one day or and talk about it. To have somebody in there that's going, no, no, this is not the way this should be,
What
or to
better
stand up.
person to tell
Yeah,
you about college and, interest rates on the student loans and affordability and those things than somebody who's actually dealt with it within the within the recent years?
absolutely.
Because I don't know about you, but I haven't dealt with college in a long time.
Right, right. And it cost a whole hell of a lot more than it
It
did when
sure does.
a whole lot more.
A whole lot more. It's super
I have
gross.
2 points to add.
Do it.
Something that irritates me, and it irritates me not on behalf of myself, but on behalf of other younger people, 17 to 25.
Hmm.
Candidates will want their vote, blame the younger people for them losing.
Mm-hmm.
But those same candidates will turn around and call Gen Z stupid or millennials stupid, i.e., Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris.
Let me tell
And
you something. Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
I just, of course, young people can be stupid. I know a lot of older people who are also stupid. You want these people, you want their vote, but you don't really value their opinion or what they care about or their livelihood.
Hmm.
And then my second point, the bad policy right now impacts younger people more than it impacts older people. Older people will die before this policy is full through.
Right.
It's morbid and it hurts to say, but it's the truth. It
Hmm.
impacts the young people. So, young people watching, please care. But if you're watching this, you probably do. I don't know.
That's true.
Those are some points I wanted to bring up.
I love millennials. I do. I love millennials. And millennials have figured out that I don't have to work myself to death to buy a big home or to buy an expensive car. I would rather just go home.
Mm.
When my work's done, I want to go home and I want to be a husband and I want to be a spouse and I want to be a wife and I want to be with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need stature. And that's why I love them. And anybody that calls them lazy, they're wrong. They don't know them. They have not taken a minute to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
They can go to Stuff and Goodwill and buy their clothes and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need the designer stuff. And
Right.
I love them for that. I do. I
I think
absolutely.
millennials are one of the only generations that figured it out early enough
Yep.
that none of that shit matters. That
Yep.
none of it matters,
Yep.
and that
Yep.
time is a thief.
And I'm going to say something about older folks too. It's proven. I can't tell you the uh, the science behind it, but we tend to, as we get older, when we talk about the good old days or whatever, we only remember the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't remember how hard it was. We don't remember what it took for us to get there and how hard that was. So then we tend to just think how great it was back then. And so this is what we need to do because this was great and it was great for me. No, you need to have all these experiences in all these ages
Mm-hmm.
to be, when you talk about being representative,
Yep.
we must, it's not just men and women, it's not just people of color, it should be ages.
Absolutely.
We should have young people in there. And I'm hoping that maybe, as there are more and more people that can work at home or work from home, or people that don't need to have, a $250,000 a year job, maybe that they can come in and they can do this work and they can legislate and they can go out and be excited. So I am hopeful that maybe as the world changes and work changes, because we talked about loyalty earlier. Used to be if you got hired at the plant and they gave you a good you know job, and boy, they were loyal to you. And when it came time for a contract, you got a good contract, and they shared with you. You were loyal to that company.
Yep.
They're only loyal now to the shareholders.
100%.
And so why millennials have figured out, why should I be loyal to somebody who's not loyal to me? So I'll work here 2-3 years, and then when I look over here and they're going to give me 10,000 more dollars, of course I'm going to go over there. I don't have to be loyal here.
100%.
Millennials are smart. They have figured it out. And like I say, anybody that doesn't like them, they haven't taken time to figure them out, and they themselves are being lazy for not looking into who they are and what they want and what their needs are.
And then they
Agreed.
raise kids like me.
There you go. There you go. Proud of you. I think it's awesome.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that.
I think it's
Okay.
good.
I mean, I'm a fan. So let's see. We got like 6 questions left, so we're gonna blow through them pretty quick.
Okay.
What is your hottest take? If you need a description or an example, let us know.
Give me an example.
Okay, so Layla, you got one? Your hottest
Yeah.
take would be like your most controversial opinion, I think. Is that right?
Yep, I think
Sure,
my
I'm cool.
most controversial opinion, and this is a really hot take, a lot of people disagree with this.
Mhm.
We are only as fucked as we think we are. I see such issue with
The teacher who's on the call with us does not have to use that language.
no, but people, I think, oh my gosh, these dogs. 1 second.
I can hear him freaking out.
Well, whether I forget, I don't know whether it was Yoda or whoever said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Right. Yes.
We need more people to think they can.
Yeah.
I think what we have right now are the people on the hard right that holler and holler, the people on the hard left holler and holler, and everybody in between. There's a certain big number in between that think, well, I guess they speak for all of us.
Right.
And it's not true.
Right.
It's not true. They're just the ones that are talking loud and beating the table.
Yep. You know
And
what's
so,
really funny? So we were on a call and someone told us that that Insuffer Wenches is the most progressive organization in Iowa. And I took that as a huge compliment, first of all. Never took that in a bad way, because I prefer being thought of as being progressive. But I also think that if anyone actually paid attention to what we do, they would probably not feel that way. Because it's just our name that makes us sound like we're crazy online leftists. For the most part, we're just normal people who just want better things, you know. But I think you're right. Like, there's so much noise on both sides. And we've seen that firsthand. We've been attacked by both of them. And it's really hard to be able to focus past those two things
right.
and keep your eye on the prize. So
you have to work. You have to look at the older generation. I'm old enough to remember, I will be 57 in April. I'm old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
sure.
And everybody that watched Walter Cronkite, you got a half hour of the national news,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that was said on there was the gospel truth.
Right.
You didn't have to wonder if it was true or not, or if there was a spin or not. That's what it was. And when you read in the paper, if it wasn't the editorial where it was somebody's opinion, it was the news. So
Right.
you took it there.
Yeah.
Now, everything that we look at, we have to question.
Yep.
Did a bot put this on my Facebook page?
Yeah.
Did a real person put this on my Facebook page? Is somebody in a Russian troll farm
Mhm.
putting this up there, trying to bait me
Yep.
into putting this down here? Um,
Even our, legacy medias are not trustworthy at this point,
well,
you know.
we with 24-hour news, you're selling ads.
Mhm.
So how do you get people to come back? Whatever outrage you have to sell to get to come back so that the sponsors of that program will continue to sponsor.
Yep,
It's all theater.
it is.
It's all theater. And so we as the consumer have to now be vigilant about, is this real or not?
Mhm.
And AI is getting so good.
Oh.
It's like, is this real or is this not real? So the whole thing about if something seems too good to be true,
Mhm.
it's not.
Right.
If something seems so outrageous that there's just no way it can be, it's probably not. And if
I
somebody sends you something that you don't know who they are, and there's some kind of outrage on it, and you better believe this, and schools ought to blah 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 blah. Whoever posted that, if you don't know who they are, don't reply to it. If a reply underneath there is somebody that you know and you want to reply to them, do that. But if you don't know who sent that, don't reply to it.
Oh yeah.
Don't,
You're just
because you're just
feeding,
feeding it.
feeding the
But
troll.
we have to think. We have to think harder than we've ever had to think before, because
Yeah.
there's so much false out there
Yep.
that it's hard to get to the truth. But we have to work. We have to be willing to, we can't just take it for what it is. And you can't read it and spend 30 cents on it, repost it,
Yeah.
and then think you've done something.
Including
No.
posts from our government.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
All right. So, hottest take done. What is your wokest take?
My wokest take.
Your wokest take.
Okay, well, I'm going to go into education again.
All right.
A hungry kid, that's when you're hungry, nothing else matters. You can't concentrate, you can't work hard, you can't get through the day. A hungry kid needs food.
Yep.
And so, my most woke thing, I think every kid that goes to public school ought to get free breakfast and free lunch.
Me too. Absolutely, yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Universal consensus here.
Yep.
And it makes me sad. It makes me sad that that is considered a woke take. It is. That is absolutely considered a woke take. And it makes me sad because I don't think it's a woke take. I think it's a humanitarian take. I think it should be the baseline, like the bare minimum we could be doing for our kids.
Well, here's the other most woke. In 1973, uh, Republican legislatures took, but before that, all health care was nonprofit.
Mhm.
After 1973, it became profit. I never heard my grandparents or even my parents know somebody that went bankrupt because of their bills. We should go back to being non-profit. We should not have uh, private companies running our Medicaid, running our prisons. No, it should be non-profit. Nobody should go broke because they have a heart condition or they have a baby that was born with a bad heart valve. It's unconscionable to me
Are the
that
dogs still
people are
freaking
going
out,
broke.
Layla? Jesus. You
It's
are,
unconscionable to me that people are lose their well-being,
yeah,
that because they can't go to work because they have to stay with their kid, they're getting fired.
yeah.
I It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't at all. And those are two very good woke takes. Those both of which make me incredibly happy to know that. And obviously, at this point, I know there are some really good people running for office. Um, I raised one of them. However, there are still people running just to further their own agenda, whether that's, name recognition or looking to the future to do something else or just because it sounds cool, whatever. It's really refreshing to hear people talk about actual issues that affect normal people that aren't the normal talking points, right? Like that's why when we say, what are your top priorities? But it can't be healthcare, water quality, or education. That's why, because if
Yeah,
we allowed those three things, that's all we would ever hear about. So thank you for that.
you're
Okay,
very
rapid fire. We have two rapid fire questions. We won't go into a whole bunch. We probably already know the answers, but we ask anyways because it's not for us, it's for the people watching. Are
okay.
you pro-choice?
My daughters have less rights than their mother did.
Okay.
I think that shame is never a way to make something work. And that's all we've been doing. Don't have sex. You're bad if you have sex. Why are women getting abortions? The majority of them already have kids and they can't afford anymore.
Right,
So let's fix that and get better paying jobs.
right.
And if you want for one parent to be able to stay home, then the other parent needs to make enough money to make that happen.
Yep,
Find out the reasons why women want abortions and then fix that. I
yep.
will tell you that it doesn't matter as woke or progressive or what anybody wants to say I am. When the mother of my children and I, when we were I said we were pregnant. We were. Um, I never missed an appointment, everything. But one thing I cannot do, I can never know what it's like to have a person growing inside me.
Right.
And so for me to point to somebody else and say that I know better, I think is crap. There's also a certain number of people that get abortions because their family shame them into it. You are not going to shame my family. We are going to go take care of this. You are not going to make me look bad.
Yeah.
How awful.
Yep.
So I want my daughters to be able to go to the doctor. I want my daughter-in-law to be able to go to the doctor. And I want my doctor to be able to talk freely to them and them talk freely to my doctor. I also want to find out, I want to study and know why women get abortions and start taking care of that. And if we want to go adoption, you know how much money it costs to
Oh,
adopt?
yeah. Don't even get me started on the the
It's
human trafficking of
yes,
how abortion can work sometimes. That is something that
complete
a lot of people don't
hypocrisy.
talk about. It's gross.
Complete hypocrisy. Um,
Absolutely.
and I also believe that people that maybe protest outside of an abortion clinic, I think they feel very strongly that they are doing what's right.
Sure.
I believe that they are very honest in that. I think it's more important to meet them when they come out the back door and say, I love you. What can I do for you?
Yeah.
What is it that you need? You are loved.
Yeah, I think at some point it stopped being about women, the women that have to, you know, that sacrifice their bodies and sacrifice their time and sacrifice their livelihoods because motherhood is a sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
No matter how much you love it, it's still a sacrifice.
Mhm.
And when you go on maternity leave or when you stay home to raise your kids, you are penalized by the government for doing so.
Right.
So a single mother of four kids who has worked two jobs for the last 10 years, 12 years will not get the same amount of Social Security as a man would in this position, because he obviously did not take off time to have the baby and do the things. So when we talk about things, and you're absolutely right, the the abortion is an end result to a bigger problem.
Mhm.
And I will say bluntly that I am not just pro-choice. I am pro doing whatever you feel you need to do, regardless of your reasoning of it. But I think a whole lot of time gets spent talking about why women should not have abortions and not why they want one, right?
Yes.
So that is a
Yeah.
very, very good point.
Shame never works. It doesn't work.
Right.
You
No.
know, neither does when your dog pees on the carpet and you go rub their nose in it. All they learn is not to pee in that spot again and to
Right.
be afraid of you.
Yep. Yep. That's
If
exactly right.
all you do is shame a child, and 34 years I've worked with high schoolers.
Hmm.
Shame is the absolute worst teaching tool there is.
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
And
Okay,
so,
next topic. We got to move on. Oh God. We'll be on here forever. Okay, trans rights. Do you support trans rights?
I do. Um, this is the same. I get tired of when somebody says, and they'll put up this picture of this super masculine person that's, got long hair and lip. You have no idea what that person has gone through.
Mm-mm.
You have no idea what is in that person's heart. You have no idea the angst that they go through. And if you are so callous as to not look at what the suicide rates are, the fear that these folks live with every day, just quit being an asshole.
Seriously. Can that be like, can we, when we get new legislature, can we redo Iowa's little tagline that they put under the, like, I don't even know what it says, like worlds or fields of
Technically, yes, you
opportunity or
can.
whatever the hell? Can we just put don't be an asshole? Like, welcome to Iowa, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because I really think that that's just where we all need to start. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Or as Tim Walls, who I am a very large fan of, no matter how much shit I get for it, um, mind your own damn business. Why are you so worried about what another person is doing to their own body?
That person is not hurting you.
No. And if, well, I don't want my kids seeing that. Well, then homeschool, I guess. Or
Well,
talk to your kids and
here's
stop acting like everything is off limits. It's
right.
ridiculous to me.
Do you know why we have to have sex ed in school? Because parents don't talk about it at home.
100%.
And whenever I see somebody put on Facebook, they should teach kids how to balance their checkbook at home. I had somebody tell me that to my face one time. I said, "Didn't we teach them math? Well, isn't that math? What more do you want? Do you want us to teach them responsibility too? Because that's what balancing your checkbook is
Right.
responsibility. What are you doing at home?"
Right.
So, um, a person is a person is a person.
100%.
Leave, back up. I don't care if somebody wants to wear a skirt. I don't care if my daughter wants to wear a plaid. She loves it when um, somebody thinks she's a boy. She's just like,
That's great.
awesome.
I love it.
So, you know, I it's another thing. Shame just doesn't work. Just shut up and don't be an asshole. And if you
Literally.
want to tell your kids, hey, that's not really something, let's talk about it. Okay, talk about it.
Yeah.
But let's quit shaking our fist. Let's quit clutching our pearls.
And
And
just
you
maybe
know,
accept that there are people out there who are different than you.
mhm,
It's really not that hard. And I
it's
say this, have raising, 4 children. My youngest is 14, so they're all teenagers now. But that, and I don't think there was ever a question Like, I don't think my kids ever came up to me and said, "Hey, how come that person's skin is black?" Or how come that person looks like a boy but is a girl? My kids have never asked me those questions because they already knew,
Right.
because we talk about it, because we talk about being different, because
Mhm.
it's okay to be different. Like, we're in the middle of Iowa and we're a bunch of white people. We're, you know,
And when we were kids, if a girl, you just call her a tomboy, and you
right.
didn't think anything bad of it. It wasn't
No,
bad
and you
at
moved
all.
on. You were like, cool, she can climb a tree. I wish I knew how to climb a tree.
Yeah.
Like, that was
But if
me as a
if
kid. I don't know. It's so crazy
if
to
a
me.
boy was feminine, I'm not going to say the words
Right.
on here, but I can tell you that on the bus, lots of days coming home, I was called fag.
Yeah. That breaks
And
my heart.
yeah, but you know what? I came out. I'm okay. But why? And for what reason?
Yeah.
What are you a better person because of that? Are
Right.
and it's so easy to pick on somebody.
It really is.
It
I
because the
always,
trans community we have this epidemic that trans are going to take us over. Come on, man.
they just want to live a normal life.
They just
Okay.
want to live a normal life. They
Yeah.
just want to be who they are.
And if we as a society would just listen to them, that's exactly what they've said. You
Yep.
know, that is like the one thing you hear when all of this shit is going on in the news, because we make mountains out of molehills. Oh, trans athlete, there's like 10. Calm down. Also, we got bigger problems than high school sports, okay?
Yeah.
Gee. All right. So, why should your constituents vote for you?
Because I'm real. I am not, my job as a legislature in the Des Moines Senate is not to legislate your morality. That's not what I am there to do. I am there to help make the state run as fairly, as efficiently, and as beneficially as we can. Back in 2012, when Mitt Romney was running for president, we were told, "Well, corporations are people too." Well, they're not. But
Ew.
you remember that that was when that
Vaguely.
phrase was coined. Was corporations are people too.
Yeah.
Government has to be more like people.
Agreed.
It has to understand who it serves. And it's not run like a business. Yes, there's bottom dollar, there's always so much money, but you've got to have feeling, you've got to have empathy, and you've got to take care of the least among you.
Yes. I love
When
that.
we were kids taking the Iowa Basic Skills Test, we were told, the Japanese kids are just outperforming you.
They
We're
literally
getting
did tell us
behind,
that
getting behind. Yes, I,
all
I
the
remember
time.
being told that. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell, Japan? Well, we better get on it. You know what they didn't tell us? They didn't tell us that Japanese teens had the highest suicide rate in the entire world because of all the pressure they faced.
Yeah.
One of the things we do well, and thank goodness for Tom Harkin, is that we treat our handicapped students, our special needs students, with dignity.
Yes.
Everybody deserves dignity. And that is what we are losing. And that's what I want our government to be. Are there people that are going to take advantage? Yes. Are there legislators who have made a bunch of money off the stock market? I don't know in the state, but I think in the federal level, absolutely, they've been raking in money here lately.
Mhm.
And you're cheating the system. I remember when Bill Clinton was president and the stock exchange went over 10,000. It's almost to 50,000 now.
Yeah.
Money. It's money, 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 money. And our government needs to think about people, 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 people.
Absolutely. Okay, last question. What are your socials, your website, and what is your big ask? What is the thing you need most from anybody who watches this video?
Okay. Well, I have a website, Jim Vowels for Iowa. Look that up. You can learn more about me and learn about my family. I, I've always been a great dad. I've gotten a lot better at being a good husband. I'm a good teacher. I care. Um, and so what I want people to think of for me or what they want is that I am going to listen. If I can help, I will tell you. If I can't help, I will try to find a way that I can. Talk to me as a person, I will talk to you as a person. I just want civility, not just in our government, but everywhere. I want neighbors to talk to neighbors. I want us to start putting our phones away. One of the greatest things that I will give the legislature this past year credit for, all schools, you got to put the phone away. You cannot have it out during instructional time. It has made our school better.
Yeah.
These things are killing us.
Yeah.
You're killing
I
us
was one of the
emotionally.
most, I was very vocal when the cell phone ban went through. I was not happy about it. I was
Mm-hmm.
not happy about it. And everybody was like, oh, you're a helicopter mom. And I was like, no, people break into school shooting up the place all the time. And I want my kid to have a phone if that happens. And I still feel that same way, still feel the same way. But that is also not the answer. That is not how to fix the problem, right? So
Right.
as much as I wish we would have addressed that other issue before addressing the cell phone issue, but I also genuinely having teenagers know exactly why that issue needed to be fixed too.
Yeah.
I just wish we could fix the other issue also, so I didn't feel like they needed to have that cell phone on them all
Yeah.
day while trying to learn.
Well, I also think that if you can say something in person, you're a whole you're a whole lot better off if you're upset with a person talking to them face to face because you get really brave
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
on here.
for sure.
And it makes you not the person that you are. But if you do it long enough, you will become that person
Mhm.
because you are what you do. You are what you practice every day. And I have a saying: if if at the end of the day you're like, man, this person was an asshole to me in the morning. Wow, that was awful. That really made me mad. At the end of the day, you say, everybody was everybody was an asshole today. Everybody. You're the asshole.
Probably pretty true.
Everybody you meet is an asshole. They're not the asshole. You are. And we don't look at ourselves in the mirror and reflect.
Right.
We need to reflect. If we held a mirror up to the country right now, I think most people would agree that we don't like what we see.
Right.
So what are we going to do about it? And whether it's Democrats or whatever, if you think, well, and come 2029 on January 1st, 2029, it's all going to go back to the way it was. No, it's not. We have to build it the way we want it.
Yep.
So there's no looking back. You gotta look forward.
Absolutely. All right. That was it. You're all done. You're free. Nobody cried. Nobody threw air punches or screamed into the camera. Thank
Look,
you.
I know a lot of people that when they retire, they want to take it easy.
Mhm.
And I just told Patty last night, I'm like, why don't I want to do that? Why don't I want to retire and go into another career that's not going to make me lose sleep or not going to make me crazy or not going to make me constantly have to study so that I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
One of my biggest fears is that I'm not competent in something. And so I'm constantly wanting to make sure. I never want to be the smartest person in the room because if I think I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Mhm.
but I try really hard not, at least not to be the dumbest. But
Right.
I ask questions. I listen, and um, I don't know. I just want to be authentic, and I want to do something to make where we live better. I want my kids to come back here, and two out of the three of them aren't because they're set where they are, but one
Yeah.
of them really does. And I have a granddaughter, and I want her to have a great school experience, and I want her to have a good life experience and not think, what the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not liking this person and this person and this person and this person?
Yeah.
No, no. It's the reason why we're 50th in growth. Who wants to bring their people come and check this place out? Oh, this is the way you think? These are the laws you
Mm-hmm.
pass?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to send my executives to work here and send their kids to school here.
Right.
We are
Yep.
not very welcoming.
No.
And I don't
Iowa
care.
nice is bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard, Minnesota nice. I would also uh nicer than Iowa, genuinely, in my experiences. Iowa nice is a crock. It's like Iowa judgment is more like it. I think that this state has been very, very good at judging other people and what they
Mhm.
do. And
And
I would like it to be nice.
we're giving a license to do so. Everything we
Absolutely.
see, so many laws are, yep, we're going to pass this law because you're not supposed to like that person.
Right.
You're not supposed to like that person. We've demonized teachers for the last 10 or 15 years so that there's another agenda going on. So you demonize. I'm tired of demonizing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of it. We got to lift each other up. And I know that sounds all kumbaya-ish, but I don't want to walk
If
out.
you if your
I want to
end
walk out and
result,
know who my neighbor is. And I
right.
want to wave and say hi. And I don't care if they have a different sign in the yard than mine. I don't care. That's my neighbor.
If your end goal is not kumbaya, then you're in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
You're in the you're please get out.
Yeah.
Because peace for everyone, please. Because we all need it.
Yes.
Anyways. All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well,
You
thank you for having me. I'm very honored that you would ask me.
Yeah, of course. We're super excited. Excellent answers all around. Enjoy the rest of your night. I hope you either ate dinner or get to eat dinner now. That's what we're gonna go do. And we will talk soon.
Thank you very, very much.
Where do I